Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're into forgotten gems of pop culture, then today's video is right up your alley. We've dug into some fascinating lost media from the 2000s, those pieces of pop culture that never fully made it to the public eye. These could be unfinished games, lost TV episodes, or concept footage that slipped through the cracks. Some of these are pieces of media that fans have been searching for years, and today we're going to talk about 5 of them. So get ready for the nostalgia and let's talk about some lost relics of the 2000s. Number 1. Fallout Extreme. Let's kick things off with a real treasure for fans of the Fallout series. This one is called Fallout Extreme, and it's a lost video game that was under development for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox in the early 2000s. This game was never officially announced, and for years, people didn't even know it existed. It was being developed by 14 Degrees East and Interplay, the same companies that worked on Fallout Tactics. The game was supposed to use the Unreal Engine, which would have given it some really impressive visuals for its time. The gameplay concept was meant to be similar to Fallout Tactics, so it would have been a squad-based game. The player would control a 4-person squad of specialized characters and be able to switch the active member at any moment. The squad could consist of ordinary Wastelanders, former Brotherhood of Steel members, super mutants, and many more. Both single and multiplayer modes were planned for the game, including Squad Campaign, Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Assault, Squad Deathmatch, Squad Capture the Flag, and Squad Assault. However, Fallout Extreme was ultimately canceled before it ever saw the light of day. Sources suggest that it was canceled in favor of the developers focusing more on Fallout Tactics, which was planned for a PC exclusive release. It's one of those what could have been situations where a game that could have potentially been a huge hit never even had the chance to shine. In 2010, some details about the game finally came to light when a game design document was released, though it's archived in a very specific place. It's archived at the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, and is limited to on-site researchers only. It's a shame for fans of the series, as we want to know what could have been. Number 2. Ubi. Next, we're going to talk about something really out there. Ubi. Ubi was a preschool show that aired in the year 2000. If you do remember it, it's probably because it was so unique and quirky that it's almost impossible to forget once you've seen it. The show was about hands. No, seriously. It was a puppetry-based show where puppeteers used their hands as the characters, and they would wear eyes on their fingers. They would tell stories and teach children the basic concepts like shapes, colors, and word formation. Most of the time, they even used one-word sentences that were easy to understand. The show was simple. Each episode was just 1 to 2 minutes long, designed to air between other shows. Eventually, however, they did expand into full-length episodes. The first season had 48 shorts. Most of these shorts have been found, but here's where the mystery comes in. A few episodes are still lost, including the ending of the very first short, titled Dance, and 2 full shorts named Puppy and Slide. Despite the fact that the show aired in the early 2000s, these missing episodes have never surfaced, and they've become some highly sought-after lost media among fans of this program. Who would have thought that a show about hands could have so many mysteries, right? Number 3. Invader Zim. Now let's talk about one of the most beloved animated shows of all time, Invader Zim. The show ran from 2001 to 2002, but did you know that before it aired, there was a test animation done in 1999? This animation was a key part of the development process and is very different from what eventually hit the TV screens. The pilot that eventually led to the series was, of course, full of the irreverent humor and unique animation style that Zim is known for. But there's a specific food fight sequence in the pilot that's a little different from what we saw in the final show. In the first episode, the food fight scene was animated in 2D, but what's interesting is that a 3D test animation was created to demonstrate how the food fight scene would look with 3D models. Sadly, the animation test has never been fully released. Some screenshots of the 3D animation have surfaced over the years, but the full video of that test sequence is still lost. It's a bit of a holy grail for Invader Zim fans, but who knows, maybe it'll turn up one day in a forgotten vault somewhere. Number 4. Zoom. Now let's talk about another classic that holds a special place in many people's hearts, including my own. Zoom. This show aired from 1999 to 2005 and was a live-action children's series that featured a cast of kids performing activities like games, science experiments, songs, and skits. What made Zoom stand out was its interactivity. The cast would perform activities based on ideas sent in by viewers, making it feel like the audience was directly involved with the show. However, there are a lot of segments from this series that are considered lost, and they cover several different airings of the show. For example, there were 6 lost segments of Zoom Sci, the science portion, covering things like balloon cars and water wheels. There were also 3 lost Zoom Do craft segments, and a whopping 7 Cafe Zoom cooking segments, like yogurt parfaits and peanut butter treats. There's also a bunch of lost Zoom games, including activities like Bubble Race and Pile Up, and several viewer participation episodes that were a huge part of the show's charm. These lost episodes are like little time capsules of 2000's kids programming, and fans have been scouring the internet hoping to find these missing pieces of their childhood. Number 5. JoJo's Circus. And finally, we've got JoJo's Circus, the stop-motion animated children's show that aired from 2003 to 2007. This show was about a 6-year-old clown named JoJo and her adventures in Circus Town. This series was known for its catchy songs, fun characters, and positive messages for preschoolers. But here's the big twist. JoJo wasn't always JoJo. Before the show was officially greenlit, a CGI pilot was made in 2002, and it had a very different concept. In the original pilot, JoJo's name was actually Kiki, though the plot seemed almost identical to the first episode of the show, Easy as Pie. While the pilot was never released in full, a small clip of it has surfaced online, showing off the early CGI style and a glimpse of what the show could have been. The Kiki pilot was essentially the blueprint for what would later become JoJo's Circus, but it's still a bit of a mystery why the show made such drastic changes in the final version. And that's all I've got for you guys right now. If you guys are interested in more nostalgic content, give me a like, throw a subscribe on there, and if you want, share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.